Last week, I hooked up with Mike Calla to ski the Glacier Route on the Middle Teton. A true alpine start had us organizing our backpacks in the darkness and leaving the trailhead just before 3 a.m. The moon looked to be full, but my head was pretty cloudy from only an hour or two of sleep. After a couple hours of hiking, the sun started to rise as we made our way past the meadows. The snow had set up nicely overnight, and we opted to hike rather than skin to make time. Though the Ellingwood Couloir had one ruddle forming in the middle, the skier's right-hand side looked good to go as Mike enjoyed the view. Alpenglow on the South Teton. We finally put our crampons on as we moved up and out of the South Fork. Higher, we finally had views into Idaho and the Southwest Couloir, which we were using for the approach. There looked to have been a good amount of traffic up towards the middle, and a nice boot pack allowed us to move quickly. We felt the first rays of sun coming from the notch between the north and south summit. Mike pulled up the rear as the shadow of the middle was behind him, and the summit just a stone's throw away. As always, from the summit of the middle, the views of the high peaks and the surrounding valleys was amazing, and the snow lingers in the high country like I've never seen before. We started our descent from near the summit marker, as the Grand Teton stood proudly in the background. I cautiously made my way across the summit, peering into the northwest couloir for reference. The snow was still too firm to stick my tails into, and because of the precarious spot, I held onto my skis firmly as I clipped into my Dynafits. I tapped the summit marker before I cautiously made my way across the ridge and on to the east face of the Middle Teton. I took a moment to eyeball the route, noting a strip of snow that would lead us to the notch. Our timing was perfect, and the snow was just softening up nicely. A lot of exposure here down to the left cautiously leads us to the ramp. I had wanted to keep my skis on while accessing the notch, but the route looked to be a bit rocky, and I decided to remove my skis and downclimb. Though the downclimb was short, it was awkward with skis in both hands, until I managed to set one down in the notch, freeing up a hand to grab onto some rock and safely lower myself down. Mike was fired up to leave his skis on too, but what would seem to be no big deal at the ski area seemed awkward with exposure on either side. And in the end, the skis came off. Helping Mike out, I removed one of his skis for him. Finally, it was time to ski, and we took a moment to discuss the route. Now, it was go time, and we were both stoked for the line. As I traversed out in the face, I noted how differently it looked from the last time I had skied it years ago. The immense amount of snow had made it tamer and less steep. The piece de resistance of the route comes as you make steep turns above the col just to the west of the dike pinnacle. The slope rolls away on either side for well over 1,000 feet, making this descent one of the best Teton classics. I continued to ski down the face and search for the best route, making a couple turns on a cool fin feature above the cliffs, and cutting left for a direct line down to the Middle Teton Glacier. Some of the steepest turns of the route were had in this section, and I lost lots of elevation each time my skis changed direction. Fired up about the conditions of the line, I couldn't help but hoot out loud. Mike makes solid turns on his way down to the glacier. The steepness of the slope continued as I made turns more to the skier's left. Cutting even further left, a bit lower down the slope, I skied next to a deep forming runnel. After about 800 feet of vertical, I finally reconnected with Mike, who was waiting below the buttress on the skier's right. Mike makes turns further down on the glacier below the Grand Teton. It felt good to let the skis run on the more open and lower angle terrain of the glacier, and we crossed some piles of debris on our way to the moraine. The snow was smooth and we skied great corn on our way down to the meadows. To qualify the descent as free ski mountaineering, I aired a moat on the way. High-speed turns down in the frozen meadows brought a sigh of relief and jubilation for the descent we had just made. We milked the turns for as long as we could, past the boulder field and the platforms to the end of the road. Managing to get the skis on for a handful more on the way to our tennies waiting in the trees where we had left them. Thanks for watching. Live to ski.